I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. You don't really think you'll win, do you? I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to episode 105 of the Batman on Film podcast. Batman on Film is the sponsor as well as a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network. Check out all the shows at batmanpodcastnetwork.com. I am the host of this here podcast and the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Jett Ramey. With me today is the great Justin Kowalski. Hello, Justin. How you doing, sir?
I'm
all right.
Doing fantastic, man.
Cool. All right. So, is this the first show we've done since the end of year?
I think so. Yeah, I think
okay.
we've been busy the last few weeks.
Yeah, the holidays were weird because it was like, Sunday and Monday were Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's, and the work week didn't start till the following week. So it's just been, getting everything ramped back up here. So, So we're back for episode 105, and we're going to talk something near and dear to my heart. And I know Justin's too. Basically, Batman the Brave and the Bold made a comeback with a new animated film titled Scooby Doo and Batman the Brave and the Bold. And you can find my review on BOF Proper, and also Justin's review, as well as his I guess more of a synopsis of his visit or his attendance to the world premiere in Hollywood. Was that last weekend or 2 weeks ago?
It was last Saturday.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It feels like it was 3 weeks ago, but yeah, it was barely a week ago.
So we're going to start off and let Justin just talk about that event. It was a pretty good deal. Was it cool, Justin?
Yeah, man. It was at the Hollywood. Well, it's not the Mans. I think it's the TCL Chinese Theater down there in Hollywood, and it was a really interesting time just because I haven't experienced a premiere in this type of a sense, because it wasn't like limos and everything pulling up when people think Hollywood premiere, but they did have it in the theater. They had it on a second level, and you get there, and right now the first people getting there were just press and people who, bloggers and whatever. But it was a little surreal because you start seeing the voice actors. See DJ Bader, he's just there hanging out talking, and you're like, am I allowed to talk to him yet? I mean, because everyone first off is super friendly, like welcoming and like, hey, how you doing, man? And I didn't think that would happen. I thought it was gonna be very, okay, here's where you stand, here's where you get to talk to so and so, and so it was pretty loose. John DiMaggio, who does Aquaman's voice, he was just hanging around talking, and he was like, oh, I wonder if he said, oh, I should have brought some Aquaman stuff because I have stuff, it just, everyone's kind of loose until it starts. And then once it kicked off, everybody there was gracious and, welcoming and like, oh, hey, man, how you doing? Like, wow. A lot of people, FYI, were like, oh, Batman on Film. That's, it was like, are you from there, or are you just wearing a shirt, And so it was cool to see that, people recognize Batman on Film, and we're excited to see us there. And so that was cool. Not all the voice. We should have put together some shirts, and you could have brought them and gave them out to. Oh, that would have been cool.
But now we're just now thinking about it. But anyway,
and it would have been the perfect opportunity to do so, because it wasn't like an overwhelming madness of, hey, get through this and get get out of here, and you had more time to hang out and talk. To be honest, like I kind of talked with every one of them before we started recording, just to kind of get a feel, like, hey, how you doing? And so that was cool. I really liked hanging out with everybody. I will say, I think my favorite was hanging out with John DiMaggio. He's just a fun guy, and he'd be a fun guy to get on the show one time too. He just
We got to get him on, man. And what if he do a whole show in Aquaman voice?
Probably he was very boisterous and very much like I don't know. I feel like Aquaman isn't a stretch for him, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it was cool hanging out and talking. The whole thing was such a fun time. The best part was, the kids and stuff that got to be invited there. I was a little disappointed at the end. They were giving out Plastic Man action figures, and I couldn't get one because I didn't have my kids.
Yeah, oh man, that's
which is kind of. I was like, they had boxes of them. I was like, I was gonna grab some, and they're like, oh yeah, they're only for the kids. I'm like, come on, but yeah. The director, Jake Castorina, he was a cool guy. So he was one of the ones that was like, oh, Batman on film, and he was telling me before we started recording, he's like, oh man, I've been looking at that site since like I think right before Batman Begins came out, and it was cool to just have like a little connection and just to chit chat, and again to just see some of the stuff that you've done for 20 years, impacted these people and people that get to work on these movies now. So that was cool.
Well, we may get another shot of talking about this, and that's okay by me because James Tucker has agreed to come on the show.
Oh, cool.
He couldn't make it this weekend because he's at that DC in DC event.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like, you know what? I've been saying for a while they should do a DC con. You know what I mean? This is kind of like that. It's small, but I think at some point maybe they can make it bigger. And they premiered Gotham by Gaslight last night. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, if I could have been in DC, I would have went to that. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, back to Scooby Batman. So continue on, sir.
Yeah. I got to talk to him for a little bit. We talked just kind of about how, and the audio's in there. He was just telling me about how, Batman works. He's like a really good gateway, and in some of the interviews, it kind of went to like, oh, my kids love Batman Brave and the Bold, because that's kind of where I fell in love with the show. Like I would watch it but it wasn't on my radar so much. Cause when I first saw the trailer, I think at that Comic-Con, I was like, what is this? Cause it was coming off around Dark Knight, and you're like, this isn't what I want to see right now. Your palette is wanting one thing. And once it came out and you start sitting down and watching it, you're all, this show is fantastic. And
that's how I was, man. Yeah. I was like, when it was the first season, 2008?
I think 2008. Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, I had got a screener and I was like, this is not for me. This is too, it's for kids. It's too silly. And, I liked that first episode, and then I started watching it, and I just absolutely fell in love with that series. And look, and I make no bones about it. It's my favorite Batman animated series. I know people go, oh, you like that better than Batman the Animated Series? Well, I wouldn't put it that way. It's just, this is my favorite because I found it to be a love letter to Batman, and it covered Batman history excellently. It's just awesome as far as that. So that's why, I love it so much. It's such a Batman universe, everything, if that makes any sense. So
yeah. And I like how it introduces other characters that might, especially for my kids. I'm a DC guy, and it's really awesome to see my kids experience the characters, and now they have, they like the Blue Beetle and stuff like that. It's just cool that it worked really well. I mean, I'm sure that was their plan to expand, A, like who's into our characters, and then B, make it fun and accessible for like kids too.
Yeah. At
the same time is, making us who grew up on, Adam West and stuff kind of have those same feelings. Cause that's what I'm trying to remember who said it. And he said, Brave and the Bold is the Batman show we think we were watching when we were watching the Adam West show, is what one of them said.
That's interesting. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Well, and I think it was 2009 or 10 Comic-Con. I can't remember, maybe 9. In San Diego, and I was there. I was actually there. They had Batman Brave and the Bold press, and they had Batman Year One movie press back to back. And that's where I met Diedrich Bader for the first time. And he is a very nice, cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
And I remember I asked him and James Tucker, hey, would you guys like to do a a Batman Brave and the Bold movie, and they were both like, oh, anytime. So I'm glad finally, I thought the series ended at least a season too early. It would have been nice to get another season or two out of it. I was such a fan of it, and I'm glad to see it back. So you're leaving, and you couldn't get a Plastic Man action figure. And, they loved Batman on film, and everyone was nice. Anything else from the event throw in?
I was going to say, everyone, just to kind of touch base on that, the whole cast and crew were like, we want to do more. Like, let's do more. Because after they showed the film, because that was the one thing. I wish they showed the film first, and then we can ask questions. But it went straight into questions, and then we watched the movie. And then after the movie was over, they did kind of a Q&A with everybody in the theater. And it was cool. They actually was like, hey, they wanted kids to ask questions. So we got kids, asking, kid questions and stuff like that. But everyone really kept going back to the point as, we want to do this again. We love this universe, and we love these characters. And DJ Bader said that's his, what tops Batman? That's his favorite thing. And it wasn't like a hyperbolic thing because he's doing Batman. And have people go, oh, this is my favorite role. He said, this is the best role. Like, I can tell people, oh, I've played Batman, and they get it. And, I can tell people the name of my character on, whatever current show I'm doing, and they're not going to know that character's name. It's not going to pop out. And, and not in a sense of like, oh, I don't like doing this stuff, but it was like what's better than the role of Batman? And he's right. That's it. People light up, and they're like, oh, he did Batman's voice, and so it's cool. And it was really, he was such a nice guy. Cause I got to chat with him again before we started like doing an interview. He was just, hey man, how you doing? Where you from? And he said, oh yeah, I got to get on the show. He's all, we can talk about that later, but he got to talk with me about, my son and his love for, what we called him as Blue Batman. My son my 8-year-old, when he was little, he'd call him Blue Batman. And, we got to talk a little bit about that. And he was actually really touched. He's like, oh man, like, he was getting glassy over the story I shared with him. And, you just got the sense that this guy really loves what he's doing, and at a moment's notice, cause I think I don't want to ruin the interview. Like, he talks about on the interview with me that, he didn't know he was doing Batman Brave and the Bold yet for this movie. It was like, oh, we're doing this again. He just thought he was doing a DC movie, and he was just going to do a voice, because he's voiced other characters in some of the DC Universe stuff. He's done like Guy Gardner and stuff like that. So
hasn't he done Flash?
I don't think he's voiced Flash. Maybe he has. I'm trying to think. Like,
what does he voice on what's that little Justice League Action? Is that what it's called? Justice League Action?
Yeah, Justice League Action. I think he
voices on that, right?
He's Booster Gold on there.
Booster Gold. Okay, that's right.
Yeah, he does Booster. So, but he's done. I think he did Guy Gardner on the Green Lantern animated show they did a few years back, and he'll pop up here and there on other stuff. But that's overall his voice there.
He's got a great Batman voice. He really does.
He does. He really does. It was funny. The first thing he said to me, he's like, Hammers of Justice. He did that. I didn't even ask him. He just went right for it. So, he's got that, he hits that octave. I mean, he's already got like a good voice, like a recognizable like voice, but it's serious and tongue in cheek at the same time. And so anyways, he was a good guy. It was a fun event, and I was glad I got to go. And, thanks for getting me in there. And thanks to Gary. He was really great actually for like, hey, did you get to talk to him? So he was very good at like making sure people came my way, in the lineup, because it was kind of a free for all the way it worked out. And so, big ups to him.
Shout out to Gary. He's the publicist. He always, he does Batman on Film right whenever, we get invited to everything, but we can't go to a lot of stuff. But, with Justin out in Southern California, we'll be able to, get him out to stuff in that area whenever they have it. Like I said, they had the DC NDC thing this weekend, and we were invited, but it's hard for us just to up and get out to the East Coast. Yeah. So anyway, thanks, Gary, if you're listening. So appreciate it.
Yeah, that was good. So yeah, and then we just went in and watched the movie, and it was cool, man, because everyone was just sitting together. It wasn't. Yeah. It was. The cast wasn't. the cast was like, they had a little spot marked off for them, but they were sitting with the fans, and it was a good time. And people cheered at all the the right parts and the credits, and it was it was really good that Warner Brothers had like families come, like invite your kids.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was
awesome, a really smart move. It was a good move, and you can tell by the end of it and with the kids answering questions and stuff that it was a win. Yeah. So I hope that they do that again with like the Teen Titans Go movie and stuff like that. That would be a great way to hey, bring more kids into it, and I think that's really important. You're
gonna cover that one for Batman on Film, right?
Oh man, let me tell you, I don't know where you're at with Teen Titans Go, Bill, but that show is hilarious. Like, in the sense, some people hate that show, by the way. Every time I talk about it, people are like, I hate that show, and whatever. I'm telling you, dude. I saw the old Teen Titans show they put out, I don't know, man, almost like 15 years ago, whatever. And it was whatever. It was fine. I didn't watch it all the time. I saw a few episodes, but this Teen Titans Go show, I laugh my ass off every time I watch that show, man, because it's silly and it's stupid, but it has amped up like versions of who the characters are. But the inside jokes are hilarious. They have a lot of jokes like that you may not get, but sometimes you're like, oh, I was watching it the other day, and there's like a picture. There's like little background things they don't even reference, but they're on the walls. It says Dark Side Rises, but it's like The Dark Knight Rises, but it just has these little, fun pokes. And I actually talked to Michael Jelinek, who he was the producer on Batman Scooby Doo, about, we were just talking about Batman Brave and the Bold and Scooby Doo, and we talked about Teen Titans Go. And again, it's just these guys love what they're doing. They love DC, and they want, kids to be able to connect to this stuff too. Because they do realize, man, like, James Tucker says, I don't want kids' first Batman to be this dark Batman. Like, that's good, and there's a place for that, and I love that. But there's got to be a way for kids to connect, because they may not, So it's really important. They're doing a good job. So, anyways,
and it's the Brave and the Bold. If you're a young kid, I'm talking like 4, 5, 6, 7, that age range. This you could take it as serious as can be. I mean, it's like serious stuff, and kind of like when I was a kid watching the 60s Adam West TV show, I thought I took it serious. It was, and of course, you get older and you can see the humor and stuff, but that was my conduit into Batman. And that's what I love about Brave and the Bold is, yes, kids need a conduit into Batman. And it's one of the best, I've came across in a long time, really. So, So everybody buy this movie and share it, because I would love to see Batman, Brave and the Bold again. No knock on Scooby Doo, but like Batman's that's my gateway into this. Yeah, Batman. Like, well, let's talk a little bit about it. Just the movie a little bit. The idea seems, ridiculous to have Scooby Doo and Batman together, but they came to. It just made, once you watch it, it just gelled perfectly. I mean, the whole, Mystery Inc. being detectives and all that, and Batman detective, and what was the group, Justin, that Batman was over, the detective group? I forget the name of it.
Yeah, I forgot. I already forgot the name of the crew, but
it's it's The Question and Black Canary and Plastic Man. And who else am I missing that was part of it?
It was, The Question, Black Canary. Oh, John Jones, the Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter. And then, of course, they pick up another member who kind of forces his way into the group, which is, he's
like, no, you're an oceanographer. That's oceanography. That whole bit was really funny.
And I'll just say, I won't spoil who it is, but I'll just say Aquaman is a big part of the movie. So anyway, but I thought it was fantastic. And it also, it had some nostalgia for me, because I remember in the early 70s when they had the Scooby-Doo movies, cartoon in Saturday mornings, and 2 of the episodes were with Batman. And it was Adam West and Burt Ward who voiced Batman and Robin, in those episodes. And they released it as a movie, you can find it.
Oh, was it? I didn't know if it was. I couldn't remember if it was Adam West or if it was Casey.
100. No, I'm going to say 100. I'm 99% sure that it is Adam West.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I don't, maybe it's Casey Kasem, of course, was doing Shaggy then for sure.
Well, he was doing he would do Robin with Olan Sewell.
Yeah, he did do Robin as well with the gentleman you mentioned. So it might have been them. I want to say it's Adam West.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. I think on that it was because it felt like it was back and forth, like between on the Super Friends, like who was doing the voices, and then Adam West did a season, and so
exactly.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I think it's Adam West, Burt Ward. If I'm not, I'm sure someone listening will let me know that I was wrong about something to do with Batman, but whatever. So, but yeah, what was your overall thoughts about the movie, man?
Yeah, it definitely it played younger. I know, Brave and the Bold, is directed at kids, but I feel like this one played it skewed younger just because with the Scooby Doo component, I think. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing at all. That's just where it needed to go. If you're going to, I think, bring these characters in, like the Scooby Doo gang and stuff, you have to make allowances for what makes them work. And Scooby Doo is very gag based and very like, oh, there's these jokes. And the good thing is they reference him. There was we'll have to have some spoilers here. Like there's a whole point where, Scooby Doo and Shaggy, they dress up and Batman's like that. There's no reason why that should have worked, and they're just like, it does, it's just those, anytime they dress up in their disguises, it's just like, what? Because they trick, Bane in a Blockbuster, and it was like that's just completely, the whole concept's ridiculous, but you have to accept it in this world
that makes it charming as well as it is ridiculous and preposterous but it just, I'm telling you, it just the Scooby and Batman thing went really well. And I love, you got the kind of the opening sequence to Batman Brave and the Bold again. They did the whole, the whole song and everything. And I loved it. And and the animations worked really well too.
Yeah. That was the style. I was wondering, how are they going to, because Brave and the Bold has it's very Bruce Timm inspired in look and clean lines, and then Scooby Doo has that classic Hanna-Barbera workings, and it came together well. Like it wasn't jarring at all. It had a good visual continuity to both shows. And I love the Mystery Inc. van, like how it looked. And you can tell that was computer generated at times, and that thing looked great. And I what I like the most? I like the random characters. I know we just talked about Martian Manhunter and Detective Chimp. That was the other guy.
Yeah, he was in it. Yes, Detective Chimp.
Because I don't think I've seen him except for I think he was on one episode of Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Just in one of those beginning.
Really, yes. So if you don't know who Detective Chimp is, he's a chimpanzee who has a British accent and wears like a Sherlock Holmes cap. And he's a detective. That's why he's called Detective Chimp. He was on the regular series before, but he's part of this group of detectives that Batman oversees. And the whole premise is, and here's the plot, and I won't spoil it, but it's that
the mystery analyst team of Gotham. That's what it was.
Batman brings Mystery Inc. into the group. Of course, he has to vet them. He tests them. So I'll just leave it at that. You'll see how that plays out. And that's how the whole detective thing comes together. And then there's, you get to pick a case and it's never been solved. And Batman has one case that's never been solved. And Batman kind of
only one.
Yeah, the only one. And he kind of doesn't let any, he kind of wants to hide it, but they end up taking on that case, and one thing leads to another. And I mean, you even get at the end, I would have got away with it. It wasn't for those damn kids or whatever they say with it. So it's very, I think they use that word in Scooby Doo, but you know what I'm talking about. But those meddling kids, I think that's what it usually is. But the animation of both, which are different, come together. The story of both, the traits of both Batman the Brave and the Bold and Scooby Doo, they're all in there of both. They all come together. I thought it was fantastic, and I'm like you. I want to see more of it. And I even posed a question on Twitter: who would you like to see team up with Batman and the Brave and the Bold in the future. And I was like, there was all kind of answers that were cool. Space Ghost. Was that your? I know several people had Space Ghost, man. Yeah, Space Ghost. I threw out Johnny Quest.
I think Johnny Quest would be a really good one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Johnny Quest didn't make it into one of the opening sequences because Warner Brothers owns the Hanna-Barbera characters now. I have been for a while. So, any other besides those two? Any other ideas you would like to throw out to see in the future?
Yeah, well, I think someone else posted. One of my favorites that someone posted was the Harvey Dent, Harvey Birdman, because they're both lawyers and stuff. Yeah. But I think they did that on the show because they did do a few episodes where Space Ghost was on one of the openings.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of a household name Harvey Birdman is anymore. Yeah. But I think I used to love the show they did on Adult Swim a few years back where he was a lawyer. Anyways, he having that would be fun. I think it would just be cool if he was just teaming up with other DC characters as well. Whatever they want to do to get more Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, it can just be Brave and the Bold, Batman, the Brave and the Bold, the movie, and do
the whole thing with Brave and the Bold is teaming up. That was the whole part of that comic book. And so it is cool if he can, team up with other properties. And someone said Ninja Turtles as well. I don't know if they could do that. I know that there is a working relationship with those two because they do the comic books, and they're actually the Ninja Turtles are in the Injustice 2 video game as well.
Okay.
So anything's possible. So
you would have to throw in another whoever has the animated movie rights to the Turtles would have to be involved as well. So I don't know. Yeah, that may be an issue, but that would be cool because they have
all that would be great.
They have the comic book out right now. I have not read any of the issues, but
I read the last one. I haven't read any of the new one, and then they have like three versions because they have one that's kind of kid based. It feels like the Nickelodeon tune mixed with Batman animated series style.
Okay,
so they have that one going on. So Batman Ninja Turtles. There's precedent for it to be a thing. So that would be good.
All right, whatever. We just want more Batman the Brave. Yeah,
we just want. Yeah, more Batman Brave and the Bold.
You hear that, James Tucker?
That's what we're trying to say.
Everybody else at Warner Brothers, we want more of it.
I don't remember who it was, but at the end of the movie screening, they did the Q&As, and I think it was I'm trying to remember who it was. It was one of the writers, I believe, and he was just like, "Yeah, actually, we're coming back for." It was Paul Giacobo, I think. Okay. He said, "Yeah, we're coming back for a new season," and everyone was like, "Yeah!" Oh man. No. And then he was like, "Oh, no, I'm just kidding." And you felt the dejection in the room. I was like, "Oh, dude, why did you do that?" Because everyone got really pumped, and you can see even the cast. They looked at each other like, "What?" Yeah. Just not a cool move, bro.
Well, I will say one of my highlights of you going was having Aquaman do a promo for Batman on film, and that was outrageous. I will say that.
It was outrageous.
Yes, it was cool. If you haven't seen that, it's on Batman on Film. It's on YouTube. It's really good. So thanks to John Maggio for doing that for us. So did you? He was good. He voiced the Joker in Under the Hood, Under the Red Hood. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I was gonna go there, and I didn't get a chance to get there because then he was the last guy I got to talk to, and it was like, we got to get in. So I had a whole. You know how it is. You have all this stuff prepped, and then it goes a different way, and. He was just having fun, and he was actually like, it's not in the interview because it didn't make any sense through audio, but he was like, "Oh, let me show you this." No, he showed me right on his phone a picture of like Aquaman and Scooby Doo, and I don't know if the image was released yet. He's like, "Oh, you gotta check this out," and so we were hanging. It was like we were hanging out. You was hanging out and talking about what was going on.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you were able to go. I appreciate it. So I want to tell you that. I would have loved to have gone. I would have loved to have gone. But I tell you what, we'll get on that. We'll be on that Teen Titans Go movie, and in fact, the publicist at Warner Brothers on that film is my good friend. So.
Cool.
She'll hook us up for sure. And you know what? I may come out there to LA for that. If they do a junket out in LA, maybe I'll come out there, Justin. We'll hang out and go do the Go thing stuff. So, all right.
That'd be a fun time.
Yeah. Any final thoughts? Because we're gonna move on and play your stuff here, your interview shortly. You can set that up for everybody as well. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wanted to kind of touch on the end. I thought the end of the film, there was, and I don't want to spoil it because, but I also don't want to build it up to be bigger than it is. But there was a fun little like wink and a nod to some Batman history at the end, and regarding the Scooby Gang and some of the Batman outfits and stuff like that. And I thought that was actually like, I think I saw it coming, and then it happened, and I was like, that's really cool. Yeah, like the way they made that happen. Could be sacrilege to some people, but I was like, I thought it was fun. It worked really well. And it's the universe. If you're in that universe, it makes total sense and it's fun to see. Overall, the whole movie was fun, man. Again, please check this out because they will make more if people buy this. And I think that's I think this is, movie studios and they're smart, and this could definitely be one of those deals where we want to do more of these things. Batman's a known property, Scooby Doo's a known property, and hopefully people buy this and we can do more, and because they want to do more. So support this, please. And just for the interviews, it was cool. Everyone was super welcoming, and one of my favorites was actually I got to talk to Velma, the voice actress Kate McCucci. She was really nice, and it was cool talking to her because, again, more. I wish I knew I was talking to her because I was like, oh man, we've been hearing her voice for a long time because my kids play the Lego video games, and she's Velma on the video games as well, and we've been like, so it was like I had history with all these people and I didn't know it. And like it's weird when you start to connect to people that do stuff and you've been enjoying their work and their talents, for a few years, and then you get to actually meet them. And it's nice to talk to people who do these things and they're super cool and they're excited. And, they're actually super appreciative that we're there enjoying it. And all of them were like, oh man, that was really nice that you said, kind of the off camera closing parts is like, wow, dude, thanks for sharing that with me. They get that validation too, because, sometimes this is a job for people, and sometimes maybe they don't hear the, hey man, my kids love this type of stuff. I'm sure they get that, but I think when it's a personal story, it's not just like, oh yeah, we love, this is our favorite thing. People say that type of stuff all the time, but when you actually can share a real moment with them, I think that they appreciate that, and it gives even more value to what they do. And again, I got that with Diedrich Bader when I was sharing him my kid's story. He had that like a really nice like experience with that. So
I think that those folks know that Batman on Film loves Batman Brave and the Bold, that we support this movie. We supported the series. We are definitely banging the drum for more of these. And I'm with Justin. Go get this movie. I mean, it's not going to cost all that much. It's only on DVD. It's not Blu-ray, I don't believe. Yeah.
You can get it on iTunes too, though. You can just download it. Yeah,
exactly. You can download it. So watch the movie, no matter how you get it, digitally or, get a DVD and pop it in and watch it. Do it, because we want more of these. And I think, you want more of these, whether you like it or not. You want more of these, audience listening to me right now. You want this. When I listen to the words coming out of my mouth, you want more of this. All right. So set up what everyone's going to listen to after we do our plugs and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So basically what you're going to get interviews with Batman himself, Diedrich Bader. You're going to get, I think the director, Jake Castorina's on there first. I was talking with Paul Giacopo. He was the one who, he did like the teleplay, and then there's James Tucker. He wrote it as well. And then I'm talking to Michael Jelinek, who was the producer. He's also works on Teen Titans Go. All these guys have worked on everything. Like James Tucker also worked on Justice League and stuff like that. Then you have Kate McCucci. That's Velma. And then I think we end it with Aquaman himself, John DiMaggio. So yeah, we're just basically talking about Batman and returning back to the Brave and the Bold universe, and why Batman works with other characters, and how why it's fun to see him team up, and how it kind of showcases Batman himself as who he is, and then we get into a little bit. Sometimes there's some personal like anecdotes that I add in there through the interviews. None of it's like the most groundbreaking stuff, but it's cool to hear these people's hearts and why they were excited to come back to the Brave and the Bold universe.
Yes, I'm with you, man. So, all right, Justin, what you got to plug, dude?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at j_rocka. And side note, man, I'm going to change that name soon, FYI. I've been getting a lot of like, hey, what the heck does that name mean? And I haven't given the secret origin yet. One day, and then I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
Just silly. Anyways, and then you can check out letsgocast.com if you wish, and you can hear the Let's Go podcast and the Let's Go comic show. And then we added a new show called Start Today. So please check that out.
Okay, very good. I just want to say shout out to all of our Patreons. You can check us out, our patrons, via patreon.com/Batman on Film. Alex, Dan, Edward, or Ed Koski is who I'm talking about. Jordan, Mauricio, and of course, BOF's, even Pete Vera chips in. I said, dude, you're part of BOF, Pete. Man. You don't have to do that. But yeah, I mean, thanks. I trust me, every dime, every penny of it has gone into Batman on Film. I mean, getting the new site up and running, I had to contract out some help at times, and I used that. And but everything, just upgrading software, getting backup for the site, and all of that stuff. So it's very it's very appreciative. I appreciate everything, and it goes to, if you like what we do here at Batman on Film, it's for a good. It goes to Batman on Film, helps with the hosting, everything, all that stuff. So yeah, appreciate that. Of course, announcer Rachel will take us out. She has all my stuff where you can follow me and all that anyway. So again, thanks for listening. Check out Batman on Film 2.0. It's been up for 2 weeks now, and things are running pretty well. So that's all I got. So I will say this: Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive, Justin.
Dadgum original.
Yes, it is.
So everybody, I'm here with Jake Castorina. He directed Scooby-Doo meets Batman Brave and the Bold, and how fun is this? Like, you get to work with Batman and Scooby-Doo.
Dude, that's what I've been saying all day is I've been getting my toys and getting to play with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like having my cake and eating it too. It's like it was fun. It was more fun than work, I could say, because when you hear Scooby-Doo Batman, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that works. And it was almost, it wasn't surprising, but it was on just how well it worked together and just how much fun that they're both mystery solvers. They both do their own, solve their own crimes in their own right, and it's like to have them come together is kind of fun.
Yeah. Do you ever remember that old trailer for the first Scooby-Doo movie where they tricked you into thinking it was Batman? You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then it's Scooby-Doo, and so
it's Scooby-Doo. It was good.
It's such a fun, like, it's just good that they have a history together from the 70s,
Absolutely.
and so it's kind of fun that they've always kind of had this parallel.
Right, and then that's the great thing. It isn't necessarily something out of the box, but the great thing is it's something for a whole new generation to look at. You know, for a lot of the people that didn't grow up on the Hanna-Barbera times and all, all the syndication stuff, but for something new, bright, colorful, and in HD. That they could watch on their phones. I think it's really great to get to be a part of something.
Yeah. Does Batman's logo ever invert on accident just for fun?
I feel like Batman's it's like Batman, Kiss, and then the Beatles. Not it's probably Batman, Beatles, and the Kiss. Just as far as branding.
My kids love Batman, and Batman Brave and the Bold is their favorite.
Right.
Like, they call him Blue Batman. That's how they grew up. So they painted their room and everything that way. But they found out about Scooby-Doo through that old, the one you get at Target for $5, like the old Hanna-Barbera version. And so when I show them this trailer, they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because it's Batman Brave and the Bold, and then it's Scooby-Doo, and so they love these characters. I mean, they have the Lego, they have everything from Scooby-Doo to Batman, and so it's cool to see their world. Now, my world is now their world, and so it's such a really fun thing to share. And not every Batman is good for kids yet.
Right. Well, to that point, I feel like Batman's been around since '39, man.
Yeah.
Or popular, whatever.
Yeah.
But either way, he's been around for a really long time. So when you have a character that deep rooted in mythos and story, I feel that the way I equate it is like, why would you limit yourself to one cookie? Why not have all the cookies? Exactly. And that's the great thing about Batman's history. There's so many different iterations of Batman, versions of Batman, dark, gritty, happy, campy. But at the end of the day, if he's still Batman, if he's still, not using guns, not killing people, and he's still doing detective stuff and solving crimes and using his fisticuffs and having a little wit with Alfred, it's still Batman. You know, and that's the great thing. There's so much out there. Why not enjoy all of it?
Exactly.
And especially, like, for me at least, I feel like this day and age with just the culture of the world, the culture of just a lot of the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
why did it become a crime to have fun with our capes and towels? You know, like why not have fun with our superheroes? Because at the end of the day, that's why we read it.
Yep,
you know?
I completely agree. Now, Bill, who runs our site, he saw I think 2 days ago, he got a screener and he loved it.
Oh, fantastic.
So he gave it a great review on BatmanOnFilm.com.
Awesome.
So
I've been a fan of, like we were talking earlier, you know, I've been a fan of Batman on Film for a really long time.
Awesome.
You know, we were talking about, we got roped in on Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, yeah. That's where we were.
To find that out, that's really cool. Thank you for
so he loved it.
Thank you for giving me.
He said it was a great love letter.
Awesome, man. That's great.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. Thanks for chatting with us, dude.
Look
Look at this amazing. There we go. The Neil Adams Batman logo.
I got that before I started working at Warner Brothers.
Oh my gosh, that seals the deal.
I think that's what got James to hire me.
Here I am with Batman himself, Mr. Dietrich Bader. How you doing, brother?
Hammers of Justice.
I was just going to ask you for the Hammers of Justice. So you're reprising Batman again, and I'm really excited because you're like one of my favorite Batmans.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, it's the best part ever, really. It was the best part I've ever played. Best backstory, of course, goes without saying.
Yeah.
But also just the scripts are so great. Michael Jelenic is a great writer, and the character is very true to the character while being as fun and funny as I think it's capable of being. And you know, Aquaman is back, and Plastic Man, and it's a good show.
It's good. One thing I love about Batman Brave and the Bold is he is so serious.
Oh, totally.
But it's fun. But it never pokes fun at Batman. It embraces
it never
all
makes
the
fun
of
Batman.
Yeah. It's a fun thing.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah.
And that's why it was difficult as somebody who tells a lot of jokes for a living to be the straight man all the way through.
Yeah.
And to have John and Tom Kenny and all these guys come in and have all these jokes, and I had no jokes. You know, I mean, I had some dry things.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite joke was in the Music Meister episode when he sees everybody when they first break into song and they're dancing around, the Black Manta and Aquaman and everybody is dancing and singing, and Batman's in his Batcopter and he looks at them and he goes, "Well, that's not something you see every day." It's just a great line.
Yeah,
you know,
it's great.
But it's different and it's really cool. And you know, I didn't know I was going to be Batman. I didn't know about the session.
Really?
I didn't know I was going to be Batman.
Oh.
It really, it was about, because now with American Housewife, scheduling is really difficult.
Which is a great show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But scheduling is difficult.
Yeah.
And so I went right from American Housewife. I was still in makeup. I went from Housewife to this session. And I didn't get the script beforehand, which isn't uncommon. So I was signing in and I saw James Tucker, who was fantastic. And I was like, "Oh, hey, James, what's up?" And he goes, "Well, we're doing Batman." I, "Oh, that's cool." I'm signing in and I go, "Who's Batman?" And he goes, "You're Batman." That's how I found out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's great.
I thought it was going to be Kevin.
Oh,
it was amazing.
okay.
You know.
So, but this was a Brave and the Bold thing from the get-go, right?
No, totally.
Okay, so you thought that you were going to have someone else be Batman Brave and the Bold?
No, but it didn't say on when I was signing. It didn't say Batman Brave and the Bold.
Gotcha.
It just has my name on it.
Okay.
You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Here's what I would love to see. More of these Batman directed videos.
Oh, I would love that.
Again, Batman Brave and the Bold is our favorite Batman. In my house, it is now Batman Brave and the Bold.
Thanks.
Or, as my kid used to call it, Blue Batman. You used to be called Blue Batman.
Blue Batman.
We love Chill of the Night. That's
Chill of the
one
Night.
of my
I was
favorites.
just thinking about that episode. Yeah.
It's such a good one. And,
and
it fits really well. And then the one my wife's like, "What is this?" is the Birds of Prey episode. Because it wasn't originally on. She's like, "We can't watch this."
Yeah.
But it's my favorite. It's so fun.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go all kinds of different places. I really love it. Chill of the Night has that great emotional payoff, and that was when I crossed over and really sort of internalized the character, because even Johnny was there, and that it was the one where I was like closest and married to the character, because I started crying when he was confronting him in the hospital room.
Yeah.
And I realized, I've crossed over.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm now Batman.
You are Batman.
I'm actually Batman.
You are Batman.
I'm Batman. Dadgum original.
Mr. Bader, thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother.
It's a pleasure, man.
I'm excited for today. I'm here with James Tucker. How you doing?
I'm great.
Are you super excited about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, come on. You got it.
I'm like, is it
really
happening?
excited. So Bill, who runs our site, loved the movie. He gave it a great review.
Oh,
he
great.
watched it, I think, 2 days ago. He got his screener.
Yeah? Okay.
And so he posted his review already and loved it. He said it was a great love letter to both Batman and Scooby Doo.
I think we managed to honor both franchises and make them work together.
What's the best part about teaming up Batman just with anybody?
Well, Batman's always Batman, and depending upon how weird the person is he's teaming up with, his reactions to those people are what make him work.
Yeah.
Because he's never overly judgy. He's just kind of cocks his eyebrow, and
yeah.
So I don't know. Batman's cool because he can underplay him he can just stand there and get a laugh or get a reaction, and yeah, he's great. He's an all-purpose character that can go with just about anyone. Like I can pretty much, there's nobody you can't team Batman up with.
Yeah, especially, I mean, everyone thinks Batman, he's the loner and he works best alone, but I feel like he works best when, I feel like his aloneness comes out more when he's with others, because you get to see why he's special and why he does the things he does.
Well, that's why they created Robin in the first place.
Yeah.
That Batman by himself is kind of one note.
Yeah.
You need someone else to bounce, to reflect Batman back at himself, so that you see who he is as a person, you know. And it's all in the subtext and the underplaying it, and so yeah, I of course I did 65 episodes of Batman pairing up with people. So.
Yeah. And which I wanted to say, that was such a special show for my family, my boys.
Oh, that's great.
I'm a DC guy at heart, you know. I like everything, but like DC is like my jam. They're fans of Blue Beetle. They're fans of Aquaman now, because this show, it's such a special gateway, and that's their Batman. Like mine's Adam West. Yours is probably Adam West. Theirs is Brave and the Bold.
So when I'm 80, I'll be charging him $50 for my signature.
Exactly,
okay,
exactly. And so it's very special, and it's done. It's fun, because when it first came out, I remember seeing the first trailer around 2008. Or was it? And I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it freaked people out.
It did, but I absolutely... And I think a lot of people, it freaked them out. And then, oh my gosh, you guys love Batman so much that...
No, it was a love letter.
It is such a love letter.
It wasn't mocking Batman at all.
Yeah.
It was everything I loved about the character. And it reflected how I got into the character, which wasn't through dark and gritty.
Yeah.
Which is... There's a place for that.
Yeah.
Though I wouldn't have wanted that to be my first Batman. So.
Yeah, it was such a good gateway. I can't show my kid any Batman stuff. Right. You know, it was like Brave and the Bold was great, and again, it's great to introduce like just the pantheon of DC characters.
Well, that's the other thing. That was my main thing. I mean, everyone loves Batman.
Yeah.
I could have just done a regular Batman show, but the opportunity to introduce all these other characters in the greater world of BDC in a reality that works for all the different types. I mean, on Justice League, we wanted to do a lot of that, but the tone of that show was kind of restrictive in that you couldn't just bring anybody into it. You had to pick and choose who we exposed our audience to.
Yeah.
But with Brave and the Bold, because the tone could be different with each episode, you know, we could have a scary, you know, themed show with the demon, and the next could be Ambush Bug.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, I think it was perfect for exploring the wide range of DC characters. And that's what I loved about it.
What was one of your favorite characters that you got to introduce, like most obscure?
Oh, wow. I guess the Wannabes.
Yeah.
I mean, I never, although we did do it on
He was
Justice
on
League.
Unlimited,
He was on Unlimited. I mean, you know.
He showed up on Legends, like the second episode, if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
In the background there.
Yeah, I know. But, well, I think those guys are fans of our shows, so that's fair game.
Wannabe, such a fun one.
Yeah.
Awesome. James, thank you so much for talking with us, man. And have a good one. I'm excited to watch it. All right.
Thanks, man.
Here I am with Velma herself, Kate McCucci. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We're really excited about Scooby-Doo teaming up with Batman.
I am too. I mean, it's like kind of like two crime-solving, mystery-solving worlds colliding.
You know, Velma is the brains behind the whole operation, right?
I believe so.
Like, everyone always thinks it's Batman, the world's greatest detective, but it's really Velma.
I mean, Velma does figure things out pretty well.
Yeah. Jinkies, right?
Jinkies.
Does Batman say Jinkies in this? Is that a spoiler? We haven't seen it yet.
I don't want to give anything away, but it's fun. It's really fun watching these two worlds collide for sure.
I love it. Like the idea of Scooby-Doo and Batman like teaming up again. Because when we were little, we saw the one from the old school one.
The 70s.
Yeah. So this is like, I'm excited for it for two levels: nostalgia, and then like, I love these characters so much, and my kids are really excited about this.
That's great.
Yeah, I wish I could have brought them today. They love Scooby-Doo and they love Batman, and they fell in love with Scooby-Doo by proxy of that old Batman cartoon.
That's
and so
amazing.
They got really excited when I showed them the trailer of theirs. They're like, "What? It's happening!" Because they love Blue Batman, who is Brave and the Bold. That's what they call him. Blue Batman. You know, hey, Blue Batman, how you doing? So, do you love doing Velma? Is this such a fun role?
I mean, it's truly a dream. I'm such a Scooby-Doo fan since I was a kid. I had a Scooby-Doo stuffed animal.
Nice.
Like I've always been a fan, and I always connected with Velma.
Yeah.
And I actually myself have glasses often, and I got a haircut, and sometimes bell bottoms, and I've actually.
And you solve crimes?
I wish. That's it.
Do you have a cool van?
No.
Not at all.
But I have a normal car, but I wish I had a van.
Yeah.
There is a mystery machine that drives around Los Angeles, and today I was at a stoplight next to it, and I was like, I'm Velma. He's like, no way, and I was very excited.
Oh, that's cool.
Nerded out on the car, yeah.
Velma is the best. She's like the backbone of like Mystery Inc.
Yeah, I mean, I think too, she's just like, she is one of those, I really relate to her. I think she's, I mean, if I were to guess, Velma was probably a late bloomer, as was I, and I think like she's just sort of, she's very interested and curious and reading and learning about her surroundings constantly, and I'm on Wikipedia for the most random things often, so,
right.
But who isn't at this point,
I may have been on Wikipedia in my car earlier today. There we go.
It comes in handy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to watch this. I can't wait for my kids to watch this.
Yeah.
It's really exciting to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
And tell your kids. I hope they like it.
Awesome. Have a good one. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
All
Nice to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. This is Justin again with Batman on Film, and we are talking to your producer, right? Producer of Batman, Brave and the Bold meets Scooby Doo and Teen Titans Go. Hey. Michael Jesnick, right? Jesnick. So sorry.
I'm kidding.
I'm butchering everything.
But that was a bit in the Teen Titans Go episode I was in.
Oh.
They don't pronounce my name right. And I wasn't sure if you were doing the
bit.
Oh,
okay. No, I wasn't doing the bit. I'm doing the bit.
You're doing the bit.
So this is such a great opportunity to team up Batman with Scooby-Doo. Batman is such a great character to team up with other characters. It's a great way. He's like a gateway to all these other great DC characters that we have. Why do you think that's so? Why do you think that Batman's the gateway?
Well, because everyone loves Batman.
Yeah.
And I don't know why everybody loves Batman. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I suspect everyone loves Batman, but everybody seems to love him. And so when you have a character that's popular, it makes it really easy to introduce characters who are a little less popular and make people want to learn and meet, know more about those characters. So that was our take when we developed the series. It's like, let's take characters who are kind of obscure, who don't always get the spotlight, and put them with somebody who's really popular. And Batman, I think, playing the straight man would bring out a lot of the
Blue Beetle's one that my kids love now because of Brave and the Bold and stuff like that. And so it's fun. It's fun to bring those characters, even the one like that might be super obscure. Is there an obscure character you're like, I got to get him into a show somehow?
Oh yeah, I mean that was a whole run on Brave and Bold. Like James was really the comic book nerd, and I knew all the basic comic book heroes, but he would introduce me to different ones, and then I would react to these characters like Haunted Tank, for instance. And we got to do a Haunted Tank episode.
Nice.
And that's how
and I love how obscure that is, right? And some people are gonna be like, it's gonna go over their head.
What?
And some guy's like, he is the Haunted Tank guy in his basement. He's got it all. So that's cool. So about Scooby Doo, what was so fun about revisiting the concept of Scooby Doo meeting Batman? Because it's been done like the old 70s version, but
I think, so in our original run on the series, we actually did a Scooby-Doo crossover in a Batmite episode, but we played it ironically, as the 70s, 60s version. So I think this was an opportunity to do that same type of story, but not ironically, and to see what our version of like that classic team-up would be. And it's such a popular team-up. If you go to, I was at a Cracker Barrel in Arizona like 2 weeks ago, and they had a copy of that 40-year-old DVD, and they're still selling it. Because kids are still find that matchup appealing. So, our hope is to do something that has that kind of lasting power and is as interesting.
Well, that's how my kids got into Scooby-Doo, is through Batman, through that old video you get for $5 at like Target. It's such good stuff. I love when the things that we love as kids can come together and be celebrated. So I'm really excited to watch this.
Thanks for the review, Bill.
So congratulations, and I hope we get to do more of these things.
Thank you.
I look forward to more. All right, thank you, buddy. Today, I'm here with Paul, who wrote the movie Scooby-Doo meets Batman, Brave and the Bold. How's it going? What was it like writing the two most iconic characters from our childhoods?
It was literally, I'm not kidding, a dream come true. It was so fun. I had written previously for Batman, Brave and the Bold, and I was all scheduled to write for the then Scooby-Doo series, Be Cool, Scooby-Doo. When I'd done all my research, was all ready to go into Scooby World. I was all Scoobified, and then these two...
I love the word Scoobified, by the way.
Scoobified is, you can find that in the Webster's Dictionary.
Yeah.
And, so those two worlds came together. Warner Brothers, James Tucker came up with this pitch of bringing them together. It isn't their first team up on either of their respective shows, but what's wonderful is they gave me this wonderful sort of outline treatment for the story, and it was I was so excited about it, and it was wonderful to write.
Scooby Doo and Batman, it's you kind of think it's such a weird combination, but I mean, there's history there.
It's like peanut butter and chocolate. Literally, you think these
they
go
go great
together,
together,
and it's like one of the best things ever.
And Batman's one of those characters. He's so malleable. He can go anywhere. I mean, we think of him as he's the Dark Knight, and we love him, but he does work well with Scooby-Doo, and any character you throw him in. But I'm really excited because it's such a throwback to, like, as a kid, those old Scooby-Doo movie team-ups, and so
it's very Adam West Batman, and that's what Brave and the Bold is about. If any Batman you can merge with any world, it's the James Tucker and Michael Jelinek's the Brave and the Bold Batman. It's one of the most facile, versatile versions of Batman, and Scooby has been teaming up forever, so it's really exciting.
And it's a good way to bring other characters into the fold besides Batman, because I know Plastic Man's in this, and I know Martian Manhunter's in this,
all of them,
Aquaman.
with their respective voices original. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's good to see my childhood on screen, but also for my kids to be able to share that with me. So I love what you guys are doing.
It
it's
really
awesome.
Is it's where people like us who grew up with Adam West and love Silver Age comics, and also it's meant to be the way James Tucker described Batman Brave and the Bold once, which I just loved, is it's the show you thought you were watching when you were a kid.
Yes.
And then you see it as
exactly.
a child, that's not the same show. So it really was meant to be the show that a dad would sit down with his son or daughter or mom, and they just watch it together and they have fun.
We love it, and it's such a good show. I know it's like, I'm hoping there's more of these coming. Like, I hope this is the first of something else coming. Well, I don't want to be presumptuous, but I hope so. Please buy these deals.
Nothing, I would be the first person to be excited about that.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate
it.
Oh,
Cheers.
there we go. Cheers. All right, here I am, Justin again with Batman on Film, and I'm with the great John DiMaggio. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Aquaman himself.
Outrageous!
Outrageous! Can we do it together on count three? 1, 2, 3.
Outrageous!
Awesome.
Pretty good.
That's surreal right there. Yeah. So I wanted to ask one question. Do you feel like Jason Momoa channeled a little bit of you in his Aquaman performance?
No.
No?
Jason Momoa is, he doesn't have anything to do with my Aquaman. However, he's an amazing Aquaman.
I feel like he tried to tap into your greatness, but he just couldn't get it.
I don't know. He hasn't done enough musical theater.
So here's something I'm really hoping that we get, and I don't know, if you're privy, let me know. Next year, I hope that we get a solo Aquaman animated film. That would be amazing.
That would be fantastic.
Right?
Listen, I'm not opposed to that.
I would love to see some more Aquaman.
No, that would be great. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they joked about it when we were doing the show, like, spin-offs, But, hey, whatever. Anything can happen. I'm just grateful that this comes back around and I get to play and do it again. But it's just awesome being with Batman and Mystery Incorporated. It's so cool.
I didn't say when they first came out, like they were talking about the trailer, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then to see all the other characters involved, and I'm like, Aquaman's back again. Your interpretation of Aquaman is so fun because I think a lot of people, Aquaman's never been like, oh, the guy that you're like excited about, and now you're like, Aquaman's the guy leading the charge, the guy who's excited for battle, and it's so fun.
Listen, I keep telling everybody, Aquaman is the king of Atlantis.
Yes.
The world is 75% water. Mm-hmm. So that means he controls 75% of the world.
Yes.
So you can't front on that.
You can't, guys. Listen up.
No, you can't front on that. So don't even try to be like, oh, Aquaman's just no. Aquaman will hurt you.
He will.
He will mess you up. He will do. Boom, 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 boom. The circle's coming out.
I'm so glad you did that.
Break out a couple of whales on you, and it's a wrap. No, it's like I grew up watching Super Friends, so that Aquaman, Meanwhile, back in the Hall of Justice, Aquaman and Batman decide what they're gonna do. I mean, it's just, it's just exciting.
Yeah.
And this is a really, really, really fun movie.
Yeah, like I never thought I'd see Aquaman team up with Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo and Aquaman.
Soggy Scooby snacks.
That's it.
Still work, man.
They're still all good.
Awesome. Thank you for chatting, man.
Hey, Batman on Film. Authoritative, definitive. The dadgum original, yes, it's outrageous.
Hey now, you've been listening to the Batman on Film podcast, a proud member and the sponsor of the Batman Podcast Network, BatmanPodcastNetwork.com. You can listen to the BOF podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, TuneIn, and wherever good podcasts like this one can be found. Want to advertise on the BOF podcast? Go to advertisecast.com/the Batman on Film Con podcast. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film and on BOF's Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Jett.BatmanOnFilm. Email Jett via Jett@batman-on-film.com. Follow Rick on Twitter at ShoeRick and on Facebook at facebook.com/BOF-Shoe. For Jett, Rick, Justin, and Ryan, I'm announcer Rachel. Thanks for listening.